All right. Donnie, you there?
Mel, I'm here. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I love those glasses.
Thank you, thank you. Well, you must like them so much because you copied me, didn't you, with
I,
yours?
I try and copy everything you do. Everything. I probably won't get that funky hat you're wearing, but other than that, it's on.
You
I'm
need to
thinking
get
even
the
letting my
fedora.
hair grow out. We'll see.
You'll grow the hair out, get the fedora, live on an island, do it. You got to just do it all.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so excited to be on, honestly, this call with you. You're a good friend of mine, and just admire you a ton. So I'm very, very excited. And just to give kind of our audience members a little introduction, first off, of who I am. I'm a local director of a company called CEO Space International, which is one of the oldest and largest networks in the world for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and investors. And we host about 5 business growth conferences a year in Lake Las Vegas. And we're excited because we've got a great local community. I'm excited to interview you today. And Mel Cutler is one of our faculty members at CEO Space, which is actually a prestigious position. And now I'm excited because I know you're going to be talking about how entrepreneurs can design, can create, and implement an ultimate lifestyle business in 6 weeks or less. Because I know that a little bit about your background, I know that you've been a serial entrepreneur since you were 19, right? And I don't think you've aged one bit. I think you're. In fact, I thought you were 14, but I know you've actually had results. You started about 6 companies, with 2 of them in 7-figure revenue streams. And the focus of your life really is to help entrepreneurs have the same level of success. I know you're the CEO and founder of Success Academy, which hosts Entrepreneur Revolution weekends, which I've attended. I know a lot of people in the CEO's Case community are a part of. And I know that you also just came out with a new book called Big Boom: How to Ignite Your Life, Blow Up Your Barriers, and Get Explosive Results in the Entrepreneur Revolution. So not only are you a great friend of mine, and I take notes profusely every time I'm around you, man. I have a ton of stuff to learn. You're just a guy who's done it and who can really speak to results. So why don't we start off with you just telling us a little bit more about kind of your background, and then we'll get into some specifics. Does that sound good, Mel?
Totally, Donnie. We have a couple more minutes, just so you know. It's 4:55, and we're supposed to begin here at 5. So
Okay.
we can kind of, I'll talk a little bit about myself.
Sure.
You're not even, being a faculty member at CEO Space, which is the world's largest organization of entrepreneurs. It's phenomenal, and I know you're heavily involved in it. You're at every single one. Maybe you can share a little bit about that before we get started.
Yeah.
And if you're on early, by the way, if anyone is on early, we're just going to wait a couple more minutes before we really get into things. I promise that I'm going to share with you how to get incredible results with your current clients. So clients that you want better results with, you want to get paid more immediately, and you want your clients to get better results. I'm going to share with you the first method, number 1 method, on how to do that by working less but making more. Another great thing I'm going to share with you is the 4-step method, how to turn your business into a lifestyle business. These are proven methods. I've tried them on myself. I have thousands of students that come through every single year through our courses. It's worked for them. It'll work for you. So I'm really excited. If you're on early, I'm just giving you kind of like a sneak peek. We have 4 minutes before we get started. Also, I'm going to share with you how to set goals. That's really, really important because it has to do with one of the 4 steps. And it has been a phenomenal way to train your focus, because you're going to get what you focus on no matter what, whatever it might be. Whatever you've been focusing on is what you're getting. If you're focusing on why are my bills so much, well, that's why your bills are so much.
Mm-hmm.
So we will train that. I'm going to teach you a few psychological techniques, how to implement that to your own brain, so you can leave this hangout, which I'm so glad you guys are hanging out, made the time to do that. You're going to leave with this hangout with a few great tools. Actually, a couple things that I've never shared before. Then, what else, Donnie? We're going to be talking about attracting a team. Right. So how do you do that? How do you get someone as awesome as Donnie on your team? How do you cultivate the person? How do you attract the person? And how do you work with that person so you can double and triple your efforts? Just some of the things we're going to be talking about. We have 3 minutes before we actually get started. So, Donnie, I'm going to throw it back at you.
Yeah.
Maybe you can kind of share some exciting things, some events that are happening. You know, we have people from LA, Orange County, San Diego watching, people from, could be from around the world that are watching this right now. So, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'll share the first thing that you had talked about actually getting me to come on your team. It was all strictly hypnosis, because prior to meeting Mel, you know, I was just like, dude, am I going to really listen to this young guy who looks like he's 19 and has this crazy hat, and somehow he just decided to put me under his hypnosis spell. Mindset, Mel is the expert at, and so here I am. No, I'm a loyal follower of Mel Cutler, and just excited. And you know, what we do at CEO Space, Mel, you know, is just kind of a perfect, his community and ours is just a perfect synergy, because, you know, we're all about cooperative capitalism. Many of you on the call who actually, hopefully, we have some CEO Space members on the Hangout, but they know our founder, Bernie Dorman, has coined the term cooperative capitalism, right? And we're all about support and service and collaboration, you know, and at the end of the day, in this climate, you can't be competitive. You have to learn how to work with each other, whether it's formally or informally, and that's what we're all about, CEO Space. So we're excited because we have our 5 business growth conferences that we host 5 times a year in Lake Las Vegas, the Western Resort in Henderson, and our next one is December 7th through the 14th. December 7th through the 14th. So it's coming up, and usually that's one of our bigger ones of the year, just because of the holiday seasons. We're going to have a lot of our faculty members there. I know Mel, hopefully you're going to be coming around in December as well. I know Les Brown's going to be stopping in. In fact, that's how I actually first learned about CEO Space, was hearing Mr. good old Les Brown on the radio, and it's just going to be exciting, you know. And for those of you who don't know what CEO Space is all about, you know, really it's kind of an entrepreneurial incubator on steroids, where we really have the opportunity to mastermind, build basically long-term relationships, you know, joint venture, and really learn, because that's part of what an entrepreneur is all about, is building that knowledge base. So that being said, it's probably a bit, Mel, I think it's 5 right now. Is
yeah.
it a good time to jump on board?
Let's do it. Let's start. For the people who are here on time and early, let's begin.
Awesome. So kind of picking back in on what I said earlier, just to kind of briefly introduce myself again. I'm a local director of a company called CEO Space International, which is one of the oldest, largest, and most successful networks in the world for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and investors. And today we're bringing on an interview in Mr. Mel Ethan Cutler, which is a faculty member. He's a faculty member at CEO Space. Again, I'll briefly touch on his background. Mel has been a serial entrepreneur since the age of 19, and he's actually built about six different businesses, 2 of which have led to 7-figure revenue streams. So, you know, there's a lot of talkers out there and a lot of doers, but to be able to get the results Mel has achieved is amazing, and that's why we have him here today on this call. I'm excited to interview him. Mel's also the CEO and founder of Success Academy. He's known for his Entrepreneur Revolution weekends, which occur in the San Diego area, Orange County, and LA area. I personally attended them, learned a ton, and he's all about helping entrepreneurs really be the most successful entrepreneurs they can be, with mindset and practical knowledge tools. And today we're gonna get into Mel and how he can help you design, create, implement an ultimate lifestyle business in 6 weeks or less from somebody who's actually done it. All right. And so Mel, why don't you talk a little bit about your background, kind of what you've done, and just give the audience a better feel for who you are, and then we'll get into some specifics.
Absolutely, Donnie. Thank you for that introduction. It's always a pleasure to be just to be interviewed. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I never really thought that that my knowledge would really be able to help so many people. And I know I have a lot to share because I want to really pack this hangout with just great value where the people that are watching will immediately be able to apply what I'm sharing. I believe success leaves clues. I believe it's simple. I believe it's not easy because oftentimes it does take work, often more work than we think, but there is a certain strategy, system, tool set, mindset to set up to live a lifestyle business. And I have not always been an entrepreneur. So I started off working many jobs and realizing getting a job at 16, my parents never gave me what I wanted. They always gave me what I needed. And they said, Mel, look, if there's something you want, you have to go out there and figure it out. They gave me the gift of curiosity by necessity. I had to figure it out, otherwise I wouldn't get what I wanted. And maybe you guys can relate. And so, Donnie, when I meet somebody like you, we've been able to become good friends. We've been able to do business together. You've made some key connections. I love it because you're the ultimate connector. You know what things are happening, and why I love you so much is because you do what you say and say what you do. And those type of people are few and far between. And when you find them, you got to hold on to them and work with them in some way. So I'm really glad we get to do this today. So, yeah. So, yeah, I wasn't born a serial entrepreneur. I did exactly what my parents told me to do. They said, Mel, you got to go to school, you got to get good grades, and go get a good job. That was the formula they gave me, and I bought into that. You see, we're given formulas. We're given our mindset. We're given our beliefs. We're given our values, and we don't oftentimes get to choose them unless you do. And you can only choose them when you become aware of what you believe to be true and then realize, hey, is that benefiting me or not? So I'm going to share a lot of things. We only have a limited amount of time on the Google Hangout. If you like what I'm saying or something Donnie says, write it down. That's all I ask. Instead of just watching it, pull up a Word doc or have a note, have a pad of paper next to you, and you just don't know what one thing that I might say or Donnie might say that'll honestly give you the breakthrough you're looking for today, right now, and completely alter your life and your business future. And I've been very, very fortunate to where I'm at because I've had phenomenal mentors. I'm very good at finding the strategy, duplicating it, making sure it works, and then going on and teaching that to others. I like to call myself the scientist of success. And the last 11 years has been that. I'm 32 now. I live in Corona del Mar. I'm a block from the ocean. I married the absolute most amazing woman, the woman of my dreams, my soulmate. And financially, I'm taken care of. And the only reason that is true is because I've modeled excellence. I just got back from 30 days of Italy with my wife for our honeymoon. And while we were there, checking the bank account, and it keeps on growing and growing and growing. What I'm going to share with you is what I do. I'm not just saying this because I don't do it. I'm teaching it. I thoroughly believe that I will only teach you something that I do. When I went to my mailbox, there was checks waiting for me. And hey, guess what? It took me 11 years to get there. Trial and error and testing and this and that, but I'm going to share with you in the short time we have just some steps that you can start to take right away. I'm going to share with you some books you can take and you can pick up and start reading. And so what I've been able to do is at 19, I dropped out of college, and I say that kind of, not to brag, not that, I just see my goals, my dreams, my vision, my purpose being met in that environment. And for people who, if you're in college, stick with it, finish it. And for those that have already finished it, my hat goes off to you, because I just couldn't. And at 19 years old, I started up my first company. A mentor of mine told me, Mel, if you want to be successful, then you have to figure out ways to make money while you sleep. You have to figure out ways with the end in mind. I was working valet at the time, and I was just working for dollars for hours, and the gentleman pulls up in a very nice car. It was a car as much as a house. He was a regular. He'd always come in. I'd always see him. He had what I call the trifecta. He had an amazing relationship. I'd see him come in with his wife, and they seemed like they got along very, very well. He had amazing wealth. And more importantly than that, he had a lot of time. He'd be gone for months out of the year. And I'd ask him, where did you go? And he would name all these exotic destinations he went to. And I would just think, wow, isn't that nice? That guy. And at that time, I had a lot of jealousy built up around successful people. Well, my parents told me my whole life that successful people, they're not going to help you. They don't, why would they share their secrets with you? They have their own lives, almost like putting successful people up on a pedestal. That's what my parents taught me. And I realized quickly that that wasn't true. That some of the most wealthiest people are the most generous. They have all the money, so what they want to do is give back oftentimes. And very fortunate I ran into a few of those people. And I remember that one day working at valet. This was in Long Beach on 2nd Street at a really nice restaurant. And this gentleman, he leaves. I pull up the car. He's about to leave. And I ask him a question. I say, sir, what is it that you do? And can you help me, please? And in my mind, I thought he was going to smack me. Honestly, Donnie, I thought he was just going to smack me and say, get out of here, kid. And fortunately, he said, you know what? He took out a business card. He handed it to me. And he said, I want you to call me tomorrow. And he said, I said, okay, well, what time do you want me to call you? And he said, 7 o'clock. And back then, I only had one 7 o'clock in my time schedule, and it wasn't in the AM. I was going to college at the time and partying really, really hard, and I woke up especially early, and we met for coffee. And he shared with me principles that to this day I have applied into every business that I do. The businesses that I haven't applied it into fail, and I've picked up on these strategies. And you guys will. And you guys will too. When I share with you what they are, you're going to be like, duh, maybe you already do it in your business. How can you do it more? And if you don't do it in your business, that's why it's not thriving to its full potential. Oftentimes, business owners are too in their business. That's number one. Write this down. Any mistakes are happening right now. You're not thriving enough because you're working too much in your business. There's not a big picture. There's not big goals. There's a small, weensy, tiny vision, and that's what you're guided towards, and you're too much in your business. Michael Gerber's E-Myth talks about the technician. If you are in the technician stage of your business and you're doing your business, it doesn't mean that you know how to run a business. As a matter of fact, you probably don't know how to run a business, and you're really, really good at being the technician. Now, that's not a problem. That is actually good if you plan to stay in that business for the rest of your life and you don't mind exchanging dollars for hours. That's not a bad strategy. But what's a better strategy if you want full leverage, if you want to create the lifestyle? I'm gone 3 to 4 months out of the year. As a matter of fact, I'll be leaving at the mid-November with my wife, Kate, and we'll be gone for November, December, and January. We'll be back at the end of January visiting her parents in Michigan. And I'm in sunny California right now, and the sun is shining, and the ocean's right there, and I get to enjoy some snow in Michigan. It's the crazy things we do for love, Donnie. I know you might be experiencing that.
We do a lot of crazy things for love, Mel, and no, you've got a significant partner to help you along the journey. But all this stuff is so exciting to hear, man. I know. I know one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs face is attracting customers, and so you apparently have a 4-step formula for that, right? That you talk about. I don't know if that's something you want to get into, or wait a little bit on that.
Yeah, no, we can dive right into that.
Okay.
The first company that I started up was an internet company that resold dial-up internet. It was an internet service provider. And I developed teams. We grew it here in Orange County, then we moved to Chicago, then we moved to Dallas. And the thing was is we didn't see the future. This was in 2001, so it was back when dial-up internet was around. You guys remember those AOL discs? Well, we had something very similar to that. And I quickly realized the way that we were acquiring customers was one at a time. We weren't doing one on many. It was one at a time. However, we did it door-to-door, direct mail, referrals, you name it, we did it. And it wasn't necessarily thinking outside of the box. It was just doing what everyone else was doing, which was a problem because if you do what everyone else does, you're just going to get mediocre results. And I realized very quickly that there was one main thing that we had to do right away to get more clients, better quality, and to get more of them. And before I get to that, one thing that I wanted to share right now, what one of my mentors early on said, is that you should figure out ways to sell something one time and get paid forever. Make something one time and sell it forever. Now, some of you might be already doing that. You're following that principle. If you're not, figure it out. The how it's not important. It's the why that's going to motivate you to action, to move. So figure out a way you can build something one time, sell it forever. That is a big piece of lifestyle. The second big piece of it is figuring out how to take that, whatever you created, and share it with more people, add more value to the marketplace. You see, you don't get paid for your time. Donnie, this is a really important thing here. You don't get paid for your time. When somebody says, oh, I get paid 20 bucks an hour, that person actually is not getting paid $20 for their hour. They're actually getting paid for the value that they can bring in that $20, in that hour, and it happens to be $20. So you don't get paid for your time ever. So you can spend a ton of time doing something and still be broke. And oftentimes people are. For entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, speakers, authors, it's very important to figure out what is your money-making actions. What do you get paid most of for? If it's getting on the phone and closing deals, hey, guess what? You need to do more of that. If you're not doing that, if you're not interviewing clients, if you're not qualifying clients properly, then you're leaving money on the table. And that happens to be the first key here. The first key to be able to get better clients, to get paid more, and to actually work less with better people is learning how to qualify clients. Qualifying is key. So I'll give you an example. Not everyone's your client. That's number one. And it's preferable for you to figure out a niche and their major problem, their major pain. And then to qualify on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, they're not your client, 10 being they are, where are they? Very few of us are so coming from a place of fear and lack, we don't ever even qualify our clients, and we're stuck with people that can barely pay us. They take up all of our time, and we don't even get the result that we want with them. So how can you qualify your clients better? I'll give you an example of what we do at Success Academy. It's one of my companies. We train entrepreneurs. All the things I'm talking about right now, we do it in a 2-day event. I teach you all. I hold nothing back. I give you the best material so you guys can go out and apply it. In my life, I've hit the rock bottom. I've lost millions of dollars. I've had business partners steal from me. I've had money embezzled. It has been an up and down roller coaster. There was a time in my life where I hit rock bottom. I didn't have anything. All my friends that I hired, over 30 of them, they all left except one. One friend stuck by me, and I'll always be grateful for that person. At that time, my car got repossessed, my house, I got evicted from the house, and all this stuff the shit was hitting the fan. And I promised myself at that moment that if I could ever make a comeback, if I would be able to figure it out again, how I would help entrepreneurs. I'd figure out how to help entrepreneurs in the greatest way possible. And that's why I do what I do. That's how Success Academy was born. So how do we qualify people right off the bat? So we have a lead generation system online, and I'll get into that if we have some extra time. How do we generate leads for our business online? which all of you should have it. Right now, if you only have one way you're getting clients, that's a problem, because a building does not stand on one pillar. It will fall. You need 4 lead generation areas that are consistent. In my experience, I have not found one avenue that has been like the end-all be-all and the holy grail. It's always been a few avenues of marketing that have generated over $1 million in sales. And I've done that with 2 different companies where we've hit 7 figures in sales. So how do you qualify them? Well, we have an event we do called EntreRevolution.com. And when you go to that site, EntreRevolution.com, you'll see you have to apply for the event. Then you will go to a questionnaire. So we've installed a questionnaire. So anyone who attends our event, you have to qualify. You just can't say, hey, I want to go to the event. We qualify you. And so that, as a company, makes sure we get a certain level of quality who come through the event and who become our clients. So how can you do that? How can you qualify to get rid of the riffraff and to actually start serving people who can pay you what you deserve? And the most important thing is for you to get them the results. So they're most willing to learn, to be coachable, to change, adapt. They want your product and service. Brendan Burchard, who many of you might have heard of, Brendan Burchard, best-selling author, just an amazing, amazing guy who has done tens of millions of dollars in his business, teaching experts how to become experts. And I'm hallucinating that a few of you watching this right now are in that industry. Well, what he says is that you have to find, write this down, this is important, you have to find clients that are already begging to hear what you have. That's the key. They're already begging, they already want what you have. They're excited to hear from you. How many times, especially when I was starting out, going out and speaking, I would speak on any stage. And I love speaking, I love sharing. Well, the thing is there's plenty of stages that I went and spoke on. That was great practice, of course, but it wasn't the right audience. It wasn't the right audience. And now I'll only speak in front of people who love it, who they're excited. They're somebody who they're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want to learn. So the skill is to qualify better. How do you qualify? Well, let's say you're a coach. If you're a coach and you're taking on clients, you say something like this. At the end of an enrollment conversation, you'll say something like, right now I'm only accepting X amount of clients. And you have to be honest. You have to be congruent. I'm only accepting 10 clients this month, let's say. I accept 5 clients every year, and they pay me 6 figures to coach them and guide them. Well, why do they pay me 6 figures? Is because I can promise that return in their business. And if I can't, I don't take them as a client. So you say, right now I am only accepting 10 clients a month. Would you like to be one of them? And then you set some very good pre-frames. So when that person says yes, if you've said everything prior to that to lead up to a yes, you have to set pre-frames. In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we call it pre-frames. So setting the frame, the box of what they're going to expect. Look, you're going to work hard. The clients I take, they're coachable, they're teachable, they're trainable. And you really want to qualify. You want to, if there's an elephant in the room, you want to expose that elephant. If you charge a lot of money, you need to bring that up in the beginning. And you need to say, look, I charge a lot of money for my service, and I'm worth it. You need to come out with that ahead of time. That's part of the qualification process. How do you do it online? How do you do it offline? That's key. That makes sense, Donnie?
That makes a lot of sense, Mel. And, I think that was very thorough information, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, you're right, they try and conquer the world, right? They try and go after everything. Because of that, they're getting scattered results. So I think just being, focused and clear and qualifying your customers so that you're really working with who you want is key. I think those are some great strategies. One of the interesting things I know you said, Mel, you said, you try a lot of different things, and usually at a minimum you have to have a 4 lead generation strategy. So I know that speaking is one of them for you, and you do a lot of internet marketing. So do you want to kind of talk a little bit about that and what you do in that arena?
Yeah, I'll touch on that, and then we can dive into the 4 steps.
Yep.
It'll be the 4-step method. That
That's
qualification was just a way for you to get better clients, get them to pay you, because you probably want clients that actually pay you as opposed to not. I have a book. I'm just looking at my bookshelf, if I can show it to you. Here's a great marketing book. Right here. Can you guys see that? Right here? Getting Everything You Can Out of All You Got by Jay Abraham. This book right here is one of 2 books that is a must-read, in my opinion, for you to absorb and understand marketing at the highest level. So Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got. This book is a game changer. If right now you want more clients, it is a marketing problem. And it's also a marketing solution. So what are we talking about next, Donnie?
Well, I know you were going to jump into the unique 4-step formula, but you were talking a little bit about lead generation, and you said there's a minimum of 4. So you're going to touch on that and then get into the 4-step formula.
Perfect. So let me give you one lead generation strategy. Okay, so I have a few of these sites. They're out there on the internet. And we use something called leadpagesusa.net. Just jot that down whenever you have some time. Check it out. leadpagesusa.net. That system, what I just mentioned, leadpagesusa.net, you can literally get up a capture page that will capture. Okay, so the page that everyone went to for this hangout was on Lead Pages. It took me 5 minutes to get set up. That service will run you maybe $500 a year, as opposed to thousands of dollars per website if you just used a developer. And web developers are probably hating me right now. But look, if you're bootstrapping your business, and by the way, I highly encourage everyone to always bootstrap your business. I've started up 6 companies. One of them I've raised $1.2 million for. All the rest of them I bootstrapped. I thoroughly believe in starting with nothing and proving the concept, adding the value, right? If somebody gives you a ton of money, we don't appreciate what's given to us. Oftentimes we don't. The way that humans are wired is we have to earn it. And even though we might resent the people who didn't give something to us that we asked, you know, and that's happened multiple times in my life, that's the fire you need to go out there and make it happen. So so you set up these lead capture pages. Now that's the easy part. And if you are just someone who's not even tech savvy, that's a good reason to use leadpagesusa.net, or hire somebody. In a few minutes they can get one up for you. The key here is to give away value, right? And you guys have seen it if you're out there and you're looking at websites. Here's 2 major values that I love to give away. First, videos, short videos. Couple-minute videos that give tips. People love watching videos. They really don't like reading, right? The people don't even like reading emails that they get. And if an email is not coming to them 2, 3, 4, 5 times, well, they're not getting the message because we're bombarded by so many emails. Emails is just part of the marketing mix. Videos, something like this, right? So everyone that opted in for this hangout, you're now into the system. You're in the lead capture system. And I email you valuable content. That's very important. The second thing you can give away, people don't necessarily want ebooks. You know, when's the last time you read from A to Z a book on your computer or iPad or iPhone or whatever device? You don't. I mean, reading we're getting very lazy these days. We want blueprints. We want a step-by-step blueprint. So if you can make a blueprint, somebody opts in. And when I say opt-in, they're exchanging their name and their email for some sort of value you're giving them. You then can give them a blueprint, and it's worth a lot. Then you can continue to market to them. How do you get traffic? Okay, how do you get traffic? Well, you get traffic through social media, through JV promotional partners. That I found the best people, like Donnie. They believe in you, they support you, they love the content. You give great content, and they will market an email out for you. Who in your life is an influencer? Connect with them. Share with them your value. and then they will help you. Okay, that's one of the best ways. Another way is for you to go out there and speak. Learn speaking. People who in your industry who are the same people who do exactly what you do are making 50% more than you. Well, I don't know if that was 05 or 50. There, 50% more than you right now.
There we go, Mel.
That was it, right? So go out there.
That was it. You got it.
Learn to speak. Find audiences that love. They're going to love what you have to share. So those are a couple ways that, I mean, we can do a whole Google Hangout on lead capture. And if, by the way, if you're interested in that and you're interested in generating leads, just email Donnie or email me back. Let us know, like, hey, or even if you have questions, send me an email. I'll respond to you personally. Let me know what you thought of the webinar and the Google Hangout, or if you had questions. So that's a little bit about lead generation. And we can dive into the 4 steps, Donnie, if you're ready.
I think it's great. Go for it, Mel. I think that would be great. Jump into it.
Okay. So this is right here the 4-step method how to start and create a lifestyle business in 6 months or less. Okay, 6 months or less. Remember, if you have the sequence, if you have these 4 steps, you can make things happen much sooner. It will take you longer if you beat your head against the wall and try things that aren't working. I've already done that for you, so you don't have to. And I also explain these 4 steps and the 7 biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make in my book. This is my new book. It's called The Big Boom. And this book, it took me about a year to write. And I took everything in here and put it into the book. And you go on to Amazon, type in Big Boom or type in my name, and you'll see the reviews. And I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that good. And the reviews prove it. So the first step of the 4-step method, number 1, is step into the right mindset. Right now, there could be external challenges, and the solution is external, but it also always starts internal. What do I mean by that? Everything starts with a mindset. Looking at, number 1, your limiting beliefs. Do you even believe that you can make 6 figures plus working 4 hours a week? Do you believe that you can set up companies to make you 10, 20, 30, 40 grand a month and put them on autopilot? Do you think that's possible in your realm of belief of what's out there? Do you think you can make $88,000 a month, which makes you a millionaire, and set up and go on vacation, set them up, and they're running by themselves passively and create that residual income? Do you believe that? And how much do you believe it? Because if you don't believe something, why would you do it? You won't. You only do things you believe. So I'm not here to that it's possible, even though you should look at me and say, hey, if this crazy kid with a fedora and glasses could do it, then I can do it. You need evidence, and I understand that. One thing that helped me look and say, hey, this was, when I turned 21, 22, I had a failed business under my belt, and I'm like, well, I don't know, what am I going to do? How am I supposed to, go out there? Do I get a job? Do I start something on my own? What do I do? And very fortunate, I ran into a book. And actually, when Kate and I first met on an island just north of Honduras called Roatan, she sent me this book. This book was a game changer for me. And Donnie, I'm sure you've read this book too. I actually have one right here. This is it. This is the original book, and you could tell it's got the proof here. The proof. This has gone many places with me all around the world. This book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, has been and still is the complete game changer for me. If you pick up one book, this is it. Besides my book, of course, right? I mean, you obviously want to get my book, and pick this one up too. This one, I got a chance to meet Tim Ferriss, and he autographed this book, and I got to tell you, he is such an outside of the box thinker that after you read this book, you will never go back to the same mindset. You'll want to be this guy right here. And you'll figure out how, because he lays out exactly step by step. So I replicated that. I replicated that in a few different businesses, and they're on autopilot. These businesses don't have to make you $1 million a month. They don't. Because what if you set up 5 companies that make you $5,000 a month, and they're all automated? You see? So in that book, Tim Ferriss asks, he says, would you rather work 60 hours a week and make $100,000, or would you rather work 4 hours a week and make $30,000? Traditional school doesn't teach you that. So the number one thing is to get into the right mindset. What are your beliefs? When I say that, what are your beliefs? That also means what story are you holding on to so tight you don't want to let this go. For me, it was beliefs like rich people don't want to help you. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. You know, you have to work hard to make money. We all know people that are lazy, way lazier than us, and make way more money. Is that true? Do we know people that they're not even the smartest people, and it's just crazy how much money they make, but they work so little? Because, see, money doesn't care. Money is not judgmental. It doesn't care how hard you work. It cares about 2 things. How valuable are you? How valuable is the product you bring to the marketplace? And how fast and how many people do you impact in that marketplace? That's all it cares about. It doesn't care about it. It doesn't care if you're black or white, if you're Chinese, it doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're a man or woman. It doesn't care about any of that. It doesn't care about your age. It doesn't care if you're 7 or if you're 107. It cares if you're following the rules. So step into the right mindset. Understand what your story is and how to get rid of parts of it that are not supporting you in any way possible. You know, my parents said, Mel, you just need $1 for hours. Well, guess what? That is a good strategy to help somebody else live a great lifestyle, not you. Not you. And we've all experienced it. The second part of mindset is your emotions. What are your emotions like? When you have to hire somebody, what do you feel? When you have to fire somebody, what do you feel? When you have to invest in marketing, something you know is good for you, when you have to invest a little bit of money, do you do it or do you second guess yourself? What happens if you have to invest a lot of money? There's something out there that can help you, but you might need to make a significant investment. But you don't do it because fear comes up. You don't start up that business because emotionally you're not intelligent enough yet. But when you get rid of those negative emotions that have been protecting you, that are based on the past, that are based on something that may be a childhood type of scenario, when you're basing your decisions today, that's like your car looking in the rear view mirror. That doesn't work so well. So there's 5 major negative emotions. Anger. Anger does not belong in your business. It doesn't belong in your life. Sadness. That also will hold you back. Hurt, guilt, and fear. Those are the 5 major negative emotions. There's others. There's others. But the rest are subsets of those 5. If those exist in your business, you're not doing as well as you can for sure. So negative emotions, learn how to get rid of those. And I talk about that in my book. And not only do I talk about it, because talk is cheap. What I actually do is I include step-by-step processes on how to overcome that. And I'm just looking for an example right now. In here, I included certain ways, certain exercises and concepts for you actually to do. So it's less of a book and more of an action guide. And it's phenomenal. I included everything that I've learned in the last 11 years. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my personal development, going to workshops, traveling all around the country, learning from experts. This is some of the things that I've learned I'm sharing with you now. So we got negative emotions. You got that. Action. Okay, so the third piece in right mindset is, why don't you take the right action? Why? You know, oftentimes, see, entrepreneurs are smart. We're not dumb people. People who want to lose weight, they know what they need to do, but they don't do it. Entrepreneurs, they know they need to attract a team, hire better people. They know that they need to focus more on sales and marketing, stop producing, coming up with products when you haven't even sold, the first one. So we know this, right? I mean, it makes sense, but why don't we do it? We don't do it because we're not aware of our values and our value systems. Our value systems are connected to our beliefs, connected to our thoughts. See, the most important thing to us individually is our values. If success is not important to you, you might help a lot of people in your business but not get paid much. If contribution and adding and connection and security, what if you want to grow your business but you just came out of corporate and that secure paycheck is very important to you? How are you going to do in the entrepreneur world? You're not going to do well because entrepreneur world is not consistent. It's not certain, especially when you just start. So Tony Robbins says that your level of success will directly be dependent on how you accept and how you handle uncertainty. So to take more action, you need to know how you process information internally. How do you do that? Okay, so right now what I want you to do is I want you to think of a time. This is one of the exercises that I've included in the book I'm going to share with you right now. I want you to think of a time. And if you don't do this, if you don't play along, it's not going to help you. So I recommend you just play along, see what happens. Okay? Right now, what I want you to do, and Donnie, you can do this too, is I want you to think of a time. I want you to think of a time where you took massive action on something. I mean, you were focused, you were determined, and at all costs, you were going to make this thing happen. Okay? I want you to think of the time. And I'm wondering if you could make a picture of this event. And just in your mind's eye, notice the characteristics of this picture. Is it color or is it black or white? If you were to know. What size is the picture? Is it really, really big? Is it small? What size is it? Is it near or far? Is it really close up or is it far away? Just pretend. And we can all make pictures. You just need to imagine as if you could. So right now you're imagining something that you took massive action on. I mean, you got this thing done. Notice where that picture is. Is it a video or is it a still picture? Notice all those things. Okay? Now what I want you to bring up is a picture of something that you know you should do, but you're not doing it. Something that you know you should do. It will help you. It will benefit you to do this, but you just don't feel compelled to do it. It's not something you want to do. We all have one of those. I want you to bring that picture up. Okay? Bring that picture up in your mind's eye. Just pretend. You can close your eyes for a moment and just listen to my voice. Where is that picture? Notice how it's located differently than the picture we just had. What size is it? Notice it's a different size than the picture that we just pulled up previous. Is it color, black, or white? Where is it located? What size is it? And is it color, black, or white? Is it a movie or still? Once you have all that, what I want you to do is you have this picture that you're not so motivated to do, this course of action. And I want you, in your own mind, I'm not doing anything here, you're doing it all. In your own mind, I want you to take that picture of something you don't want to do and bring it into the picture. Adjust the old picture into the new picture. The old picture being that thing you didn't want to do, adjust that picture into the new picture. So make it as big as the thing you were wanting to do. Make it as bright, make it as vivid, make it desirable. You see, the way that our brain perceives things is through pictures and the qualities that go with that picture. So adjust the picture of what you didn't want to do into the picture of something you do want to do. You've done it, it's done. Now, once you've done that, lock it in place. Just lock it in place. So you've taken the picture that you didn't want to do. It's now in the picture of something that you do, you love doing, you're dedicated, you're committed to it, and it's done. Lock that in place. I want you now to ask yourself, how do you feel about the thing that you didn't want to do and now that you might want to do? How do you feel differently about that thing? Donnie, how do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, I feel re-energized. You know, I feel focused and just kind of this overwhelming sense of peace. You know.
Absolutely. So see, that's how we can reprogram our brain. Now, if it didn't work for you, if you're like, I don't know what just happened, that means you just didn't follow directions. So you'll need my book to follow step by step to learn how to reprogram your brain. That's one of the biggest things entrepreneurs fall short on, is they don't know how to program their brain, and if they did, they'd get much better result. So that is just a little bonus I wanted to include. That is also how you can take more action on things you don't want to do but know you should do, is just think about them differently. Stop remembering, start thinking. So that is, I know it was a little bit of a long one, but hopefully you got some great value from that. That is step 1. That's 1 out of 4.
Awesome. Well, I just gotta say, Mel, all these mindset strategies that you mentioned coming into corporate. My background's in corporate, so it's all about kind of black and white technical information. You know, you process everything through really a black and white lens. So for me, just kind of being in the entrepreneur world, such an appreciation for mindset, and it's an absolute must. So everything that you're saying, I mean, this is just lighting, just bulbs in my head. And I'm sure with the audience, the same thing. I mean, it's an absolute must. So I think the value is great. So do you want to continue down that 4-step formula, Mel?
Absolutely. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay, so we understand that mindset, that's the foundation. That's number 1. I mean, that's number 1. You have to believe it. And again, what helped me believe it is just reading about other people. I mean, watching this webinar, you're like, well, yeah, maybe I can do this. Maybe if I do follow the right system, I can actually follow directions. And if the directions in here haven't been the greatest, then you need to follow someone else's greater direction. So once that's taken care of, you can go to step 2. Step 2 is all about business systems. It's all about, well, actually, I went to step 3 accidentally. We need to stay. So I kind of let the we need to let the cat out of the bag.
We'll forgive you, Mel. We'll forgive you.
Okay. Let me go back to step. What are we on? Step 2. Step 2 of the 4.
Yep.
Here we go. Step 2 of the 4 is, write this down, having the end in mind. Having the end in mind. What does that mean, having the end in mind? Well, you have to know what the end looks like before you ever get started. It's so interesting because I'll give you an example right now of a business deal that I'm working with to have the end in mind. And this is what I mean by it. While traveling in Italy, I met a gentleman who flies to Budapest. He's actually from California. He flies to Budapest, and he collects Hungarian antiques and fills a container of all these antiques. Now, these antiques are very hot right now. I mean, it's the stuff that you see decorated in houses. It's high demand. He goes and fills up the container, costs about 30 grand, and then he brings them back stateside. He does everything for you, by the way. And then that container turns into about $90,000. That's the return on investment. So I said, well, I want to do that. And he said, hey, I'll take you on a buying trip to Hungary. Well, this is the thing. I got excited because, I'm an opportunity kind of person. I look at opportunities. I love hearing about opportunities. And it just excites me. So the thing is even though it's an opportunity, we do not get paid for the opportunity. We get paid for the problem we solve, not the opportunity. Because there's a million opportunities doesn't mean they're the right one. Well, how do you know? Well, it took me a few years to realize this. So what I do is I work backwards. I say, great, I can get this stuff here. That's actually the easy part. The harder part is what happens when it gets here. Who's going to buy it? Who do I sell it to? What's the marketing of it? So I had to work backwards. That's having the end in mind. And if I'm not going to do it, who's going to run the business? If I'm not going to do it, which I'm not going to be in, my goal is not to be in the day-to-day of this, who do I have on the team? Who can I recruit? Who can I have run it? That's the end in mind. You see, I'm not starting a business to give myself another job. That's not the goal. So this is what I did. On his website, there's pictures of all the stuff. All the stuff he brings in, there's pictures. So with his permission, I made a whole brochure. And then I went I went to the stores, the antique stores, the interior furnishing places that sell this stuff. And I asked them, if you had a consistent source for an affordable price that can bring these antiques in, one-of-a-kind, unique pieces, would you be interested? And what do you think they said?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So now I have the end built into the front. So many times entrepreneurs, they only have the front end. They're like, okay, great. They spend so much time, so much money, and then they're like, why am I still broke? Well, I have no more money left. It's because you didn't have the end in mind. You didn't follow the formula. You pretended like you knew what you were doing, but you really didn't. That's a problem. Because if you do that too many times, which I have, you won't end up in the greatest place. A lot of headache, a lot of wasted time, a lot of wasted money, and you will not have reaped the rewards that you could have if you just started with the end in mind. Also, what's the end in mind? The end in mind is setting goals. Do you want to give yourself another job, or do you want to set it up smart this time? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Who's going to run it? How are you going to sell it? How are you going to bring it in? How is it going to be fully leveraged? How can you get out of the picture as soon as humanly possible and find someone good to run it? If you can't let go of the reins, guess what? That's an emotional problem. Every year I'll buy 2 to 3 businesses. Donnie, you know this. And we're dealing with owners who have successful companies. They're good, they're not great. And sometimes they get so attached to them. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. And they're so attached to their problem, which is their business, that they don't see clearly that a small piece of a bigger pie is much, much, much better than a small piece of nothing, than a big piece of nothing. The Prophet, you know that show, Donnie? I don't know if you ever watch it.
I know of it, yeah.
So the Prophet says, that's his saying. He's saying that these small mom and pop business owners are so attached to their business that they don't realize a small piece of a humongous pie, that this gentleman can help them grow their business, make it into a multi-million dollar operation, get it international. They don't realize a small piece of that is way better than a big piece of nothing. And that nothing is what they have now. Right. But then some won't ever let go because of that fear. That's the emotional side of it. So what's the end game? People never ask themselves that. So have the end in mind. Have the end in mind. Figure it out. What's the exit strategy? Are you planning on being in that business, or maybe you want to sell that business? I don't know. Maybe you can build it up and actually sell it for a multiple of the net revenue. That might be a much smarter exit than holding on to it and not knowing and then realizing, well, what the hell am I doing? Because it's not something you're passionate about anymore. Okay? Having the end in mind. Okay? I'm going to go over very quickly how to set goals. In my book, I talk about this more in depth. They're called SMART goals. How do you actually set goals you can achieve automatically and plug them into your unconscious mind? You know, because we have a conscious mind and we have an unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind is where we store 95% of who we are. Our personality, our memories, everything. What's important to us, it's all unconscious. We're not thinking about it every single day. That's the part of the being you want to reprogram. First unprogram, then reprogram, because we're all programmed either way. Unprogram it, and then reprogram it properly to get us to where we want to go. That's unconscious. Well, guess what? SMART goals are set to achieve our goals unconsciously, so that it's not effort. They will come to us. How do you do it? First, S. Your goals need to be specific. They need to be specific. Your unconscious mind loves specific goals. Then it also loves something that's measurable. Let me give you an example of specific. A specific goal is, if you say, I want more money, is that specific?
No.
I want to lose weight. That's not specific either. Your unconscious mind is very literal. It does not know what I want more money is. You find a penny on the ground, hey, there's more money. Congratulations, goal achieved. You have to be specific, very specific with what you want. Measurable. Be measurable. And I'm just looking at the time. We have about 8 minutes, so I'm going to go through this fast. Measurable. You have to be able to measure goal against something to know you achieved it. It has to be attainable. That's the A. A is for attainable. Attainable by you. Saying, hey, I want to win the lottery, that's not attainable by you. Saying, hey, I want my kids to go to college, that's not attainable by you. They have to choose to want to do that. R, replicatable. That means it needs to be duplicatable. You could repeat that and still achieve the same goal. And T, time. It has to be timed. There needs to be a deadline on it. So put a deadline on your goals. How to take that goal and implant it into your brain is in the book. It's in the book. I put it in the book. It's a process. I don't have enough time right now to go through it, but it's in the book. Very powerful. Phenomenal. I've used it to achieve a lot of my goals. My students, they've done it to achieve their goals. Phenomenal. Okay, next step, which I kind of let it out of the bag already, is business systems. Right now, you're not achieving the lifestyle you want, and you can do it within 6 months or less if you plug in the right systems. Sales systems, marketing systems, customer service systems, online lead generation systems, all those systems. Why do we spend millions of dollars on franchises? Right? Franchises, McDonald's, $1 million. $1 million for McDonald's. Is that crazy? No, it's not that crazy because we're buying the system. We're definitely not buying a quality product. That's for sure. I don't even know if that stuff is food. What we are buying is a system, a proven system, where if we buy a McDonald's, we're going to earn an X amount in return. So right now, to automate your business is going to be a key to create the lifestyle you want. And to take you away from the tasks in the business that don't need you. A lead comes in, have someone else qualify them, and then you do the closing call. Why? Why are you doing all of it? You don't need to. Why are you doing your bookkeeping? Hire somebody. Outsource all of the things that take your time. You'll notice you will earn and have more time to do the things to earn more money. It's amazing how that happens. So systems. And the final fourth one is attracting a team. That also is part of systems, but I separated that one because it's so important. Look harder, recruit faster, and qualify better to put people on your team. Right now, there's some quality people out there. They'd be happy to work with you, happy to work for you, with very little money out of pocket. They put them on commission, but you haven't found those people because you haven't been looking in the right places. You haven't found those people because you yourself don't have a solid mission, vision, purpose for your company. When you do, people will become attracted to it. You should then be able to attract the right people, give them the systems. That's also a problem, is getting the right person. We've all maybe attracted the right person, but they didn't last because you didn't have the systems for them. 94% of the time, it's a systems problem. 6% of the time, it's the person. So if you hire the right person and you don't have the right systems, guess what? They're going to leave very fast. So you need to have the right systems along with the right person, and that will set you to creating a lifestyle business in less than 6 months, guaranteed. A resource to help you do that, to recap everything I just said and to go into more details, is this near 200-page book. If you want to know how to attract a team, get the book. You can go to bigboombook.com, bigboombook.com, order a copy. It's less than $20 on Amazon. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it, and it will change your life. Donnie, so any questions, comments? What do you got?
No, man, I love this. I love this because I think it's a blend of mindset strategies that you've given that are concrete that people can take away and apply to their own selves and businesses, and plus some technical information. I think a lot of people talk about systems, but I think you've explained in a way that allows us to actually take it and apply it to our business tomorrow. So I've taken furious notes, and I'm the one doing the interviewing for you. I love it. I feel like I always learn from you, Mel. So I know we only got a couple minutes. So do you want to talk a little bit about maybe some upcoming events, or your book, or is there anything that you kind of want to say as far as some closing remarks?
I have a gift. So I have a gift for everybody. And I appreciate you sticking on the Google Hangout to the very end. That's important to finish the race. So many entrepreneurs, they don't finish what they even start. So you watching this Google Hangout, I don't know if it's me twitching or if it was really entertaining, you stuck through it. So I'm going to give you a very, very special gift. For those of you that know you want the book, okay, go to Amazon, buy the book. Send me your receipt. When you send me your receipt and the proof of purchase that you bought it today, it's only good for today, I'm going to do something really, really awesome, Donnie. And I know this is your community and other people have joined and watching the Google Hangout. I want to reward you guys in a big way because I believe people helped me when I needed help, and now I want to help others. And I know the most committed people are the ones that want to educate themselves, they want to learn, and they want to apply. So I'm going to do something awesome. The event you mentioned that you went to, the Entrepreneur Revolution, that's a 2-day event. That event is $795 per person if you qualify to come. But I'm going to do something really, really awesome. Those of you that go and get this book right now, go to Amazon, purchase it. If you have Amazon Prime, it'll appear at your doorstep in like 2 or 3 days. Send me your receipt. So email me, mel@successacademyusa.com, mel@successacademyusa.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a complimentary free ticket, free, F-R-E-E, a free ticket to the next Entrepreneur Revolution. Right here. This is $795 worth, a free ticket to the next Entrepreneur Revolution. Or any one that we do in 2015. We do this event anywhere from 8 to 10 times a year. So you will get a ticket. You can either come to our next one, November 8 and 9 in Irvine, November 8 and 9 in Irvine that's coming up, or it will be good for any event we do in 2015. That's $795. Buy the book. It's like $17 on Amazon. You will get a ticket worth $795, and it's awesome. The event is a life changer. It's a game changer. It's not like any event you've ever gone to. It's 2 days. The first day I set it up to work on the mindset. We spend an entire day getting rid of limiting beliefs, getting rid of negative emotions, creating a compelling and foreseeable future now and forever to keep you motivated always, always. Permanent. This is permanent shifts in the mind on day 1. Day 2 of the event, you're going to learn systems, sales. I'm going to teach you the 5-step sales process. Day 2, you're going to be able to learn marketing, the 3 P's of marketing, to spend less to get a better result, effective, what's working now. And the rest of the day 2 is all about attracting an all-star team. How do you attract an all-star team and not spend a fortune doing it? That's the entire 2 days. It is a game changer. It will change your life, and it's guaranteed 100%. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to say that right now I cannot do an unlimited amount of tickets. I can do 10 of them. Okay? So I'm willing to give 10 tickets away, but you have to get the book, love the book, and then you'll get a ticket, and we'll send you all the information. Remember to send me your receipt. I cannot give you a ticket if I don't see the receipt. It's got to be for today. And then you can leave whatever 5-star review you want on Amazon. That would help also. So that's it. That's my gift, Donnie. I hope people just see, hey, the universe rewards one thing, and that one thing is action. You just don't know what one tiny step. I mean, how many degrees do you need to just shift to get a whole different result next year?
Right.
A couple degrees, 10 degrees could set you on the right course. You just don't know. So I know for sure that this book will help the people that really decide, hey, I'm going to do it. Small investment, but it'll create a huge impact in my life.
Right.
Donnie, thank you so much for having me on the call, on the hangout.
Absolutely, Mel. And today was just a day filled with content, and I got to say, I've been to Mel's events. You thought this call was great. Man, you're just going to be blown away by just going to a couple days of his events. And I know his book just expands on a lot of the concepts he talked about today. So I'm grateful for you just taking the time out of your day, Mel, to be with us. You're a great friend. You're an excellent businessman who delivers results, and you're just a man of character. So thank you so much. Thank you all for being on our Google Hangout today, and we look forward to an upcoming one in the future. Thanks again, Mel.
Awesome. Donnie, thank you again. Thank you guys for hanging out. We look forward to doing this again. And if you want other topics covered, or you really, really love this interview and you want more details, just email me. I'll get back to you personally. Mel@successacademyusa.com. That's Mel@successacademyusa.com. Thanks again, Donnie. Bye, guys, and till next time.
Thank you, Mel.
Bye.